Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me on this video as I plan my month of December on my bullet journal. And basically, if you don't know what a bullet journal is, I'm gonna link a video on the description so you can check it out and see what the fuss is all about. So there is no right or wrong way of doing a bullet journal. Really, you just do you and I do me, you know what I mean? And we do what works for us. So the way that I go about is I start with a cover page. So in the cover page, I like to include a little calendar, so just so I can see what days falls on which day, and I have my list of things that happen on this specific month. For example, if I have a specific appointment or event that's gonna happen, I can look at it beforehand. And I also have some goals set for myself on the month. So another thing that I like to add into my cover page is a quote to keep me motivated and inspired. For the month of December, I decided to go with a Bible verse that says, "Ask me and I will tell you remarkable secrets you do not know about things to come." And I thought it would be fitting because we are always creating these expectations for the following year, and December is the last month of the year, so I thought, why not go with that quote? Okay, so after I'm done lining all the text, I go over it with my kneaded eraser to erase all my sketch lines, of course, and then I start on my art journal. On my art cover. So the art cover, usually I go for a theme and I carry that theme through the month, but this month I decided to just use one image for the cover, and then that's it. I don't have any other images on the rest of the month, just because I wanted to keep it simple. I've been having a lot of things going on in the past few months, and I didn't want to overdo it because I wanted to keep it light and nice. So I use watercolors on this book, on this journal, and the pages are really nice. It holds water pretty well. I'm still considering though whether or not I'm gonna use the same book for next year because of the size. It's a little overwhelming, the amount of space that I have here. So I'm thinking about getting something a tad bit smaller. I've tried a passport size traveler's notebook, which is really cute and I love it, but it's too tiny. I have no space to write anything, so I need to find something that is a little in between with nice pages that I can still use watercolors, that I have enough space to write everything that I need to write, but not too much that makes it overwhelming to look at. So for the next page, what I do is I write down my appointments and events. Some people like to use a calendar view with blocks, like a regular calendar. I don't know if I'm explaining myself right, but I used to do that on some other months, and it was very time consuming to count each dot and write those lines one by one. I don't know, like it just took me forever to do it, and I just decided to keep it simple, and I've done that in the past and it really helped me personally. Like I thought it was more like it fitted my need a little better than the boxed calendar. So what I do in the middle of the page, I write down the dates and next to it the first letter of the day of the week, and on the left I write my appointments, and on the right I write down my events. So yeah, so and that works pretty well, at least for me it does, and I'm happy with that. That type of calendar, I think I'm gonna be keeping that for a while. That's another good thing about bullet journal, is that you know, if something doesn't work for the next month, you can just change it out and keep the things that work. So the page opposite to it, I'm writing down a schedule. I'm you know, I'm stay-home mom, I am a part-time artist, and I need to make sure that my schedule is always up to date. So I decided to write a little grid for me to have, for me to be able to color coordinate the days that I want to do certain tasks. So for example, if I want to do laundry on Fridays, I would just, you know, make a little color coding system where on Fridays I know I have to do laundry, so I can always refer back to this chart and know what is due for that specific day. The same applies for my art. Whenever I have to plan out my art days, I can always refer back to this to this little schedule page. And for example, there is a day in the week where I want to take an online class for art, so I can always go back and see, okay, this day I have planned to do my art, so I dedicate that day specifically just for that instead of something else. Of course, then again, this is something that is customizable. You do it the way it fits your needs, and this is something that it's new to me, that I'm trying this month, and hopefully it works. I think it will, so I'm excited about it. So I use a little ruler to make the grid for it, and of course the dots in, you know, the dotted journal really helps to get a straight line done, but I like to make it a little more nicer and perfect to look at. And I'm not gonna make you stay here and watch me write every single line in this page, so I'm just gonna sped up a little bit. Right, so moving on into the next page, I have a gratitude journal where I write every day of the month. I write something that I'm grateful for. Our days are sometimes so full of things that can make us feel stressed about, that we forget to be grateful about the little things that are overshadowed by the bad things that happen. So that's what the gratitude journal is for. I want to, at the end of the day, just sit down and write one thing, at least one thing that I'm thankful to God for. And then opposite to that, I have a prayer journal where I can write, you know, prayer requests and when the prayers are answered and so on and so forth. And here I have art pages. On the right, I'll have my art ideas, and then on the left, I'll have my art to-dos. So I have a lot of plans for next year, and you know, I have a lot of ideas. So when I don't write them down, I tend to forget them and they never happen. So the idea here is for me to write down, you know, whenever it comes to me, I'll write it down, and then I'll plan it out on the opposite page and make sure that the idea becomes a thing, that becomes something concrete that actually happened. So yeah, that's what that page is for. And then after that, I have my weekly spread, and on the weekly I divide it by tasks. and habits, and then the days of the week. So my tasks are divided into 3 categories: less than 5 minutes, less than 30 minutes, sorry, 5 minutes, less than 30 minutes, and more than 30 minutes. So the idea here is to write down any task that takes me, like a certain amount of time, and then coordinate those tasks according to my day. And then I have the habits. Some people write the habits like a full page with every day of the month, and then they go by day. I decide to go by week. I think that helps me a lot. When I have a week, sometimes my weeks are different because sometimes my son is at home, so that changes things for me a little bit, and I have to work accordingly. And yeah, so that's why I write my habits here, and that works for me. So, and then on where the days are, I write down any thing that I have to do on my schedule. I'll also write down my appointments, and I'll transfer my tasks into the days where they happen. And then finally, I have my 5 minutes journal. As I mentioned before, it's something that my husband started doing it, and I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to do it too. I don't know if it's gonna work for me, but that's the beauty of bullet journal, is to try something out, and if it doesn't work next month, you just change it out and you try something else. Okay, so this is where I'm finishing my journal, and I'm really happy with how the December spread came out. I hope you guys feel inspired, and I hope I gave you some ideas on how to start your own bullet journal. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave a question in the comment. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye!